Alright, I've got. Hang on. It's just double drop and then we'll get in.
Is that everything? Oh, he's got 2 in 1. The double doji.
Let's play.
The double doji for episode 36 of the Backpack Podcast.
G'day and welcome to the Backpack Podcast.
We're back.
My name's Jake McKenna and to my left this week, uncharacteristically in order of the most healthy member of the panel, it's my little brother Joe.
Yeah, that flu vax really paid off. Sure, my arm was a little out to you for a while, but that lollipop was good. And now I'm the healthiest one in the fam.
Okay.
And to my right, coming in at 6'1" as he does each and every week, he's the baby brother of the pack and we call him Junior Boy. How are you?
I'm pretty good. My long con paid off. I was sick last week, but then I got Jake, Mum, and Dad sick, and I'm on the mend.
And we're beyond ungrateful for that, so thank you so much, boys. We've got a massive episode for episode 36. We're going to chat about the Friends reunion.
It's back.
We've got a food-themed Optus Stadium
yummy.
story. Riley's going to debunk some Facebook ads, and biggest and best of all, we've got a debate on Parmi versus Parma.
No way.
Let's get into it. Boys with boys.
Brother Mingos.
How are we all?
We're back.
Better than you.
Another episode of the pod.
Yeah, we're better than you, man.
Very, very, very exciting.
How are you feeling?
Being better. Just a bit crook.
Yeah.
If you haven't, if you can't
can
tell
hear it, I'm
already.
sure.
Yeah, fuck. I've apologized. I will do minimal chatting.
Me and Joe's
on
voices
this
are back to normal.
Yep.
Jakey
sounds-
boys copped it.
You probably I can hear myself. It sounds a bit like someone's like holding my nose, like doing the
But the good news is,
like I'm underwater.
Got your nose?
good news is that we should all be in the clear for the rest of winter. We've all had like 2 different like bugs already.
Yeah.
So we should all be alright.
This is probably COVID, I reckon. Whatever I've got. I think that's COVID.
It's alarming.
Something I've noticed while I've been crook. I went to work. I had one day off late last week.
Fair enough.
Then went back in on the Friday.
Yeah.
But and we went to like the pub for lunch.
Oy.
Yeah. Very nice.
Naughty.
Something like it's a bit of a tactical one. I genuinely feel because I felt way better like after lunch. We had a few beers.
Yeah.
So I reckon
Nature's medicine.
Yeah, I wonder if beer makes people like feel less sick. I also had a ginger beer as well. Like had a normal beer. Normal beer tasted really fucking weird.
Did it?
Like it's a beer that I always get, but when you
They
when you're
always
sick,
taste
like
a
your
bit.
taste buds are a bit fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It is because like it's like one of my favorite beers. We went down to Frio Social.
What was it?
They do a great West Coast IPA.
Oh, very nice. And
That sounds
And
bougie.
I love it. And then when I had it on Friday, like because I was sick, it just tasted like real salty, and I was like, man, I don't think this is nice at all.
That is not what you want.
so you switched it up. You went with the ginger beer. Alcoholic?
Well, I had but that also tasted fucking toxic as well because it was like because I'm sick, so like it wasn't sweet. It just tasted like real weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Was this one of the Matzos ones?
Nah, I don't think so.
They're decent.
They are, but not really relevant to this chat.
Yeah. Sickness. Taste bud sickness.
Yeah, does it change the way you?
Yeah, it's weird. You lose your taste when you're sick.
I don't think you lose it, but
You don't lose it, but it just dwindles. It goes away.
it's
for a
worse
bit.
because I can still taste stuff, but it just doesn't taste how it should.
Tastes a bit mucusy. Tastes a bit sick.
No, it doesn't taste like mucus. It just tastes salty, I reckon.
On the way down, couple of mucus those.
I don't know. It's fucking.
Do you
odd.
remember when we were kids? What's the one thing you want when you're sick?
We used to have like Sprite or like lemonade.
Yeah, those lemonade icy falls.
They, they
Slapped.
went hard.
Yeah.
Also, I remember this as a kid.
I've been having a fair bit of Sprite this week.
You're on the mend from being sick, and then we'd go and get chips and gravy.
Yeah,
Chips
big.
and gravy.
But you know that shops we used to go to Riverton
That's good recovery food.
to
Fruit
get the
and
chips
veg
and
there.
gravy.
They're gone.
Yeah, it's gone. The actual fruit and
Yeah.
the fruit and gravy place. The chips
Yeah.
the chips and gravy place we used to get is packed up.
They were the best.
They were macking all time, man.
They
They
were
were
good.
fucking so good.
Yeah, I liked it getting when you're sick. You got a bit of sore throat, and those chips
Oh, they just
really
slide
moisten them up.
down.
They just
Yeah, that was
So
good.
good.
slurping up.
Where's
wedges.
the best place to get like good chips, and gravy now?
Yeah,
I
I've never gone to a place and had like that type of gravy. All the other gravy's like weird, like
The worst is
Some
when
is
you
like
get-
way watery, but that was like a good
Yeah, that was
gluggy. It
like-
had
The,
good
the worst is
glugginess.
when you get real thick
gravy.
gravy.
That one was pretty
like,
thick.
Borderline. No, but like I'm talking about like borderline magic ice chocolate topping thick. You know
Can't
what
say
I
I've
mean?
ever had something that's
gravy
Maybe not
that's
thick, but solid.
Yeah, that was the best gravy I've ever tasted in my entire life. I've never tasted a gravy
It's
like
good.
it.
Yeah, it's all.
Does anyone know any
awesome.
good gravy places? Because I've heard Jester's is alright, but
Jester's gravy.
don't Jester's have chips and gravy?
They do chips.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I used to get, actually, this is a bit of a bump for any Curtin students. Basement Cafe and like mining.
Ooh.
I used to go there first year. Oh, chips and gravy.
Curtin
It's
Ridge.
the one where the old lady works at.
I don't think I've ever been.
The lass.
She's like, I don't know, pretty old, and everyone loves her. Like they even did,
The old lady that's pretty old.
they did like a mug with her face on it once, like a
Oh.
limited edition run.
Is she still?
Who sold it?
She's
The
still
actual
kicking?
cafe sold
Yeah,
it?
Basement Cafe. Yeah, she's
Right.
that was when I had my Bank West Halo ring.
Oh, yeah. They were
And
the
then whenever I
days.
would pay,
That's so
she
weird.
would be like, "Oh, you kids and those
Oh,
your
real?
gadgets."
She used
Yeah,
to
she
get
was
around
great.
ya.
Yeah,
Loves
That's
it, the big
big.
fella.
I was an Angazi guy.
yeah, and Ghazi's great.
Angazi's fucking elite. Angazi do the best burgers. I went, I think it was like episode 1 of the podcast. Remember? I went back to Angaz
as an alum.
to go and pick up your like
No.
to go
Oh, my
to pick
my
up your shit. I
regalia.
think we might have spoken about like
Oh.
episode 2. I think we might have spoken
Graduation
about
king.
Yeah.
Angazi's all time.
That was when we both graduated.
What a
Good
time.
old days.
What a time to be alive. We had a few people get in contact. Speaking of like food,
Food.
The next place.
yeah, the Nick's Place Alibaba's poll
Yeah.
that went up.
I loved it.
As we spoke about, Nick's Place absolutely dominated.
As we expected.
We thought
But
they were
Alib-
the only two, but
Alibaba's had a few more votes than I would have thought.
Yeah, and some people were, if you like an Alibaba's man or girl, real passionate for it, you know?
yeah,
Really
Yeah.
like the
Die
underdog,
hard.
yeah.
But what I found, there was a big passionate plea for
another one.
Habib's.
Habib.
Habib. Where
Which I
is
don't-
this?
I think it's the one down the lane, like near Time Zone, but on the back entrance of Time Zone.
near the water fountain.
Oh, there, like across the road where we usually park.
Yep.
Like behind.
Oh, near like Junction Record. Like
Yeah.
near where Benny's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Like everyone shoots up,
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
little
yeah.
area where there's just like people that are struggling.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that
I
place.
do.
Drug
I've
addiction.
never been there.
It looks good though.
It doesn't look good.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it looks like dirty and like
Yep.
bad,
Yeah,
but like also.
but they also have the
that's-
best kebab. Like,
Yeah.
So we had a few people comment and messages on TikTok regarding that.
Habib's.
And Cooper really messaged
Yep.
us last night on Instagram to let us know that, yeah, we should definitely
Habib's.
fucking give it a red hot crack.
Give it a go.
we'll have
Um,
to, next time we're down in Freo.
Yeah, so when I have like a week off, I'll make it happen because I reckon you'll get mad food poisoning from that joke. But that's just my thoughts. Speaking of, we had weird messages. I got a weird one during the week on my personal account. It's not related
Oi.
not related to the podcast.
Someone signed in Jake's
Hey.
DMs.
Yeah, a lady by the name
Wait,
of,
is it about the
Or
vodka?
can you drop her name?
I won't drop her name. I'll show you who it is.
Yeah.
Like she's a
It
she's
looks
a
like
girl.
it looks like a real person. Is what we're trying to get at here.
Yeah, that's
Young-
and like they're not
young
like a
girl.
fake profile because that photo is from the 23rd of March. Her first one's from the 4th of Feb. She's got like
Still pretty recent.
That is relatively recent. When are these
but
stories
she's got
from?
stories from like
Story
86
highlights.
weeks ago.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's not a
Might have
fakey.
deleted.
She
Yeah.
got and she's got like 1.3k followers. Like she's not.
gone viral.
She's not.
Yeah. Anyway, so
not a fakey.
Yeah.
she messaged you. Is it not
Yeah.
about the podcast?
No,
She's sliding into
she
the DM.
goes
Oh, what?
verbatim on the 24th of May at 7 o'clock in the morning. Goes, hey, just to let you know that you're on a bait out page on Insta. Report it, XX. Fuck is a bait out page?
Is that
I
like a
don't know.
scam? Bait out page.
I said, sorry, what? And this was like days later because I didn't see, it was like
The
a
request.
message. Yeah. I was like, sorry, what? And I always get requests from random girls saying, hey,
Yeah. One of many.
yeah, well, I had to really dig to find this one. It was deep in the pile of women. And then she's gone on in her second message. She's gone with the again, which I've never heard anyone say. ERMM. And then she goes, check your tagged. It's a video on Insta. XX. So she's really consistent with the double Xing as
Yeah.
well, which again,
She's trying to get
I'm
me
not
kisses.
unfamiliar with. And then so that's happened. But of course the person hasn't tagged me in this bait out page. If it's like,
So is this like there's some spam page that
I have
your
no
account
fucking
is
idea.
tagged in?
I'd imagine a bait out page is like, we're going to like embarrass you for antics that you have done.
which is plenty of.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
publish weekly.
yeah, we do a podcast. It's basically
Yeah.
just that. Imagine if she just sent me the link to the Mac pack. It was just like,
you guys
hey,
be talking about
you're getting baited out here. I don't know what a bait out means either.
I wonder.
I then replied with, think I've been blocked, like, because I wouldn't imagine they would tag me in a page that they're then just gonna like.
Yeah,
rip
because you would
in.
just untag yourself.
And then I asked her, what is a bait out page? And she goes, weird, 2 secs. I'll send you the whole thing. XX again. And then goes, look. And then she sent me a link.
Oh.
And it's Instagram /bait outs
Click on it. Click on
/login .blogspot.com
Wait, you could just search.
/ M equals 1. And then she goes, I reported it to X.
Nah, that's sus.
She keeps Xing me.
You
Yeah.
could screen record and click it though. It could be a fun little interactive.
I don't want my phone to block because when I do, I've actually clicked it, and it asks
no.
you to put in your.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I didn't get this before. It says the site security certificate is not trusted.
There
It's
you
seeming more like a spam account,
Yeah, because you can.
but I did click it before, and I then had to put in my
Jake, this is-
username and password.
Did
no.
Did you?
But I
Jake, you're
didn't.
being fished.
I obviously didn't do it. Yeah, I know. Is that maybe I'm being catfished? Like
That's a close call.
she's talking about
She
bait.
almost got you.
She's talking about bait. It would be
Yeah.
relevant for me to be the fish at this point. And then I said, are you able to flick us a screenshot because that link doesn't work? She hasn't replied. But stay tuned because,
Has she seen it?
nah, not yet.
Oh.
I'll just message her now. Hey, can you get back to me? We're doing a podcast.
Say
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. But
That is a bit strange.
That is strange.
any
We'll have
ideas?
to.
Do you know what a bait out is?
No idea.
I feel like, but it's such an elaborate. Why does she have stories going back for 84 weeks?
Yeah, I don't think
yeah, that's like a.
it's a long play, but when it
Yeah.
pays,
When it plays.
it plays. All right, boys, massive week for the Friends community.
Yeah, they've finally done it. The madmen.
They've done a reunion. They've
The
got
real question
they've
is-
got all the mob back together. Apparently, it's the first time they've been in the same room since like
The last.
2000.
That's crazy.
2004. I think was the last time. I find that hard to believe. Surely to God they've like hung out. Maybe like they haven't recorded anything, but
Would Phoebe get invited though?
Yeah.
that's a hot take. Apparently, from what I've heard, Chandler's the bloke that either doesn't get invited, but he's a bit of. Mum was saying he's a bit of a recluse, which apparently means
What's a recluse?
he doesn't like getting involved. Like he just
Yeah.
he sort of keeps to himself.
Oh, he doesn't really like him.
The reunion was. It could have been better.
I haven't
Definitely.
seen the whole thing. I've only seen
What was
snippets on
the
TikTok.
What was the structure of it?
Was it just like
Started really cool. So it starts. I love that neither of you have watched it, and we're going to chat about it. It starts with all the cast members slowly arriving to the set. The set's actually sick.
Is it still? Or is it the set?
Yeah, and they have them all like on this one panel. So like they've got the girls' house,
Yeah.
and then the laneway, obviously, and then the
lads.
and then the boys' house as well. It's actually dope. And then I think on the right hand side is the coffee house
Yep.
as well.
That's crazy.
Central
that it's
perk.
legit, like-
Yeah, and they literally just like walking in. It really took away a lot of the magic because I thought they were like, I'm not dumb enough to think that like they're actually.
Yeah, you think it's in another room though. It's not like.
Yeah, they were literally just
2
like,
meters
yeah,
away.
100%. It was
'Cause
so cool.
Now when you rewatch it, you're like, literally 2 meters left of frame is a different.
It is
set.
effective. The whole set stuff is
One-
super effective.
One thing I think about Friends is, so the way that the rooms are structured, sometimes they'll be talking about neighbors in buildings that they see, and it'll be like Chandler or Joey can see them from their bedroom. But then Monica and Rachel will also mention that they can see them, and it's like,
How?
I don't understand the geometry of how this is working.
Unless they're on the edge of the building.
unless they're on the
but
corner.
But they never look out the window where the camera is.
I think you're thinking about it too much. But nah, the reunion was good, but it could have been so much better. They had so many random units here, like Lady
Like
Gaga.
Gunther? Oh.
No, Lady Gaga came and
Did
sang.
Gunther make an appearance?
Yeah, he looks weird, man.
He
Like-
looked weird when the show was on.
oh, he looks like unrecognizable.
Oh, really?
And he was wearing this weird trucker hat that made him look like he was like, what's that? There's like a TV show. I can't remember. Let's not get into it. He didn't look Flash, but there were so many rogue. Like I'm a
Mum said
huge.
Bieber was on it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Lady
Justin.
Gaga fan. I really like Lady Gaga. There was no reason for her to be involved.
Were the Sprouse brothers back?
I don't know who that is.
The Ross's children, the two twins.
Zach and Cody.
No. Was it you that talked to me
We
about
were
that?
talking about this like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, no, they
But
weren't.
that was in Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I watched Big Daddy over the weekend as well for the first time. Good film.
And the son in that, I was like, yeah, isn't that the Spouse brothers? And Jake's like, there's only one kid.
Yeah, I didn't know there was two.
It's not
kids.
Spouse, it's Sprouse.
That's what I said.
He said Sprouse.
But yeah, there were so many randoms in it. So
And what were they doing?
Lady Gaga sang.
What?
The chick who's the oh my god chick, what's her name? Janice.
Janice.
She made an
Oh
appearance.
my
You gotta have her. She's a
God.
classic.
But the thing is, they brought all these people on, and they like that Janice chick. I don't know how long she was actually on the couch, like chatting to everyone. What? They used about 30 seconds, and then she was like shooed off. She was like, "Oh my god, well thanks, bye," and just like walked off, like gave everyone a hug, and then just fucked off. And then like the Geller parents were just like sitting in the crowd.
Are they still alive?
Everyone, that's a good shout. Everyone in the crowd is wearing like fucking COVID masks, except these two.
Yeah, we're now dead.
Yeah, they're like 90 years old each, just
yeah.
sitting there, and like the whole
Maybe
thing's
they've
like,
been back.
oh, does anyone want to ask a question? And like James Corden's, just putting on a bit of a parade. I'm a big James Corden fan. There was no need for him to be involved in that at all. And yeah, so then like the fucking 90-year-old senior citizens chuck their hand up like, yeah, we have a question. And then James Corden like gives it a bit of, oh my God, what's your question? And then he goes, oh, it's the Geller family. Oh my God. And they're like just basically like closer to death than anyone I've ever seen. And they're just like, I don't even know if I don't think they asked a question, but it was like, oh my God, like thanks for being here. It's like, realistically,
That is
you've
a shocker.
just lost your life because you're here. Like there was no need for them to. Again, it was like a 20-second, like oh yeah, and then it's like waving, like a bit Weekend at Bernie's style. Like it wasn't fucking Flash. Then there was like a catwalk where it was like. Some mum was telling me it was some random woman, apparently a supermodel, wearing like Ross's tight black pants.
the leather pants.
They're clearly not those pants. Like they're just someone's black pants. They had Justin Bieber dressed up as the Spudnik. Again, love Justin. No need to get involved, champ.
Wait, what's the Spudnik?
You know when Ross dresses up as Spudnik at like the Halloween? No.
Really?
Spudnik. Like this.
He dresses up as a spud for the Halloween episode.
A potato.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Kind
I'm
of.
100%.
Why was
surely
Are you sure
Jamie
it's not
there?
the...
But Bieber was because they did like some there's been it was Corden again giving a bit of there's been so many crazy costumes on the show, let's see them now, and there was like here's Cara Delevingne dressed as Ross, and I was like what the fuck is happening? And here's Justin Bieber as a spud, and I was like no, what? I don't care about any of this.
Did the holiday armadillo make an appearance?
Yeah, Cara Delevingne dressed as the holiday armadillo. You couldn't even see her face. It
Was
just
she
like-
actually?
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
was,
good.
it was her. Yeah, it was just like anyone that had like a little bit of notoriety or any amount of
Anyone
like
they could get.
Yeah.
self pride, just get involved, and we'll just like smash over the head with a Spudnik costume.
The coronavirus has really hurt a lot of people in the entertainment
It's
industry.
terrible. And then Justin Bieber's just dancing as a fucking potato. It's like, why are you there? They did some rogue stuff. There was some really cool parts.
Yeah, I heard you giggling away. Don't
would
act like you hated it.
I would have loved. There was a moment early on where like they're all sitting in the, in like the girls' room, and then what's the other dude? Chandler and Joey like jump up. They're like, should we go check out like our old place? And so they like walked in there, just the two of them, and sat on the recliners. Yeah, which we have. We got double recliners.
Did they
just
do
perched
it
here.
in sync?
Yeah, they did exactly the same scene. They're like, and like laid back, and then like had a bit of a
Bravo.
giggle. I would have loved for them to just like someone came in and like disturbed them. I would have loved for
But
them
that's what
to
you
have
wanna
just
see.
I would have just loved for them to have just chatted. Like Chandler's obviously
Yeah.
gone through his own shit over the last like 10, 15 years. Probably 20 years now, which has been like well documented.
Yeah.
And he sort of looked at Matt LeBlanc as if to be like, he literally said at one point, he's just like, man, like this is really nice. And like it got like cut off, and I was like, oh, that was him like reaching out. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't had a friend for so long. And they just like cut it off, and it was just like, oh, here's fucking Lady Gaga. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's not really what we want to watch. So like there was elements of it that could have been so much better than it was. They played like stupid game, like that quiz game that they played.
Yeah.
Like during, there's no need for anyone to get involved in that. That was just boring. Just let them sit down and have a chat, catch up about what's been going
Imagine
on.
having to cough out and do game segments.
But it was good, but it could have been much better.
Our games are lit though.
I feel,
Yeah, like they played it for comedy when that's not necessarily what.
and they did a few table reads of
Should've
like
been.
some big moments, which I thought was cool, and that was actually nice because I think they got a kick out of it. But there was some awkward stuff, like during the game they had like a hand model, and like some people come and played the fucking guitars and stuff, and it was just like, who are all of you fucking people, and why would anyone give a shit about your
Yeah.
involvement?
and
Gotta have the
also
big six.
there are things with a show like that where it gets such a cult following that like there might be aspects that are magnified by the fans that to them it was one day of shooting
Well, that's the thing,
and
Ross.
they don't really remember.
So
it.
my favorite episode, probably without a doubt, is the ball when they're just throwing the ball.
That's a good one, yeah.
Ross, zero recollection, zero recollection of it, and like that's what happened.
you
So
ask
when Chandler and Joey are sitting on the couches, like having a nice moment, it's broken up by Rachel running in, going, because she's like, oh yeah, like do you remember when you like throwing the ball? And Ross is like, nah. And literally was just like, I have zero recollection of that happening. And then like she ran in to chat to the boys. And she's like, oh, do you remember the ball episode where we were like throwing the ball? And she's like, was it just you two? And Matt LeBlanc's like, no, it was all of us. We all did it. They walk back in there and Ross is like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Real.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
just absolute scenes. The
Classic Schwimmer.
Just pretend like you know. Like,
he was
come
too busy
on.
just like, where's Rachel? Where's Rachel? Why do I have to throw this ball? Where's Rachel? That was a cute part that like they were apparently
an item. Or not an item, but like
could have been, should have been sort of set up.
Much
That really
like
cute.
wasn't
Ross and Rachel,
and
themselves,
Rachel.
which I think added to an element of like why the characters worked, because there's genuine like there seemed to be genuine chemistry, even when they were perched.
acting.
Sorry, even when they were perched on the couch during the reunion thing, there was a few little like lines that were getting tossed around. At one point, James Corden, making it all about himself, asked the gang a question.
which is your favorite James Corden episode?
Do you guys sing carpool karaoke? How good's Chris Martin? And then so he was like, oh, like where do you see the characters being now? And Rachel like looked at Ross and was like, oh, like we'd be married. And Ross was like, oh, like yeah. And like this massive grin come on his face
hey.
as though she was on one knee proposing on the spot. Very, very cute.
That is cute.
But yeah, there was a lot to unpack from it. I
Is
do.
Paul Rudd in it?
Surely.
No.
Fuck that.
Which was a missed. I think if he had have hosted it,
He
would
should have.
been-
I
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
love Paul
how,
Rudd.
how fun would that have? Everyone likes Paul Rudd because they got mentioned. One cute thing. So the last scene of the whole show. I know that we're talking about this for way too long, but fucking unpack it. The thing you're gonna learn more from this than you will from the actual show. The last scene that they ever shoot. You know how like they're about to leave
With the
the
keys.
house. Yeah, they put all their keys in a bowl.
Yep.
Very naughty. And they leave the they leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was obviously like a camera angle shooting to the crowd at the time, like just to sort of document for this sort of purpose.
Yeah.
Sitting front and center, Paul Rudd with like a JVC camera, just like sitting there,
Oh.
like watching what was going on. Like, man, that tape alone would be worth like packets.
But filming the audience or filming the
No,
set?
filming the scene, like
Yeah.
it happening. Like
Was
the
he not
last
a-
moments, just like
Did he not know that they were already recording?
They had 9 cameras that were going. No, but like it was very cool.
Yeah.
It was
That is
packed.
cool.
Like
Does
there
anyone
was
have
so-
that footage?
I would imagine he was. Just give him a call. The
Knowing
whole
Paul, he probably like overrid it with like a funny dog in the park or something.
wasp, spider, Ant-Man.
Yeah. He was filming ants.
But yeah, it was very cute. There's been a lot of criticism about Matt Perry since, saying that like he doesn't look healthy, he doesn't look well, and all
Yeah.
this sort of shit. He's copping the same treatment as like Ben Cousins did. Maybe just back off the bloke. Like he's by far the funniest character.
Yeah, he makes the show.
Without him, the show would.
Oh, yeah,
I genuinely don't
he-
think the show would be
He's the
anything.
heart and soul.
Yeah, he sets the comedic tone for like the entire everyone.
And not only is he like the funniest, but as soon as he starts dating Monica, like that's the show.
Well, that's what they said. They weren't
Yeah.
gonna do it. They weren't gonna do that part of the show. That was completely based on how the audience reacted. So the studio audience was sitting there, and once that scene happened, the fucking crowd went off. Like, went off.
yeah.
And all the producers are sitting there going, just let him go. Just don't say anything. Just let him, like, carry on for as long as they did. And they carried on for fucking ages.
What, like applause? And
Yeah. And because it was the end of...
makes sense.
what scene
But
is
because
this?
it was the end of the... When they're in
Where they're
Vegas.
in Vegas for the wedding. And he...
Oh.
And he's, like, hiding her under the bed. And Ross comes in being, like, a big floozy,
yeah.
carrying on. And then he
pops
dips.
up.
Yeah. And
Bravo.
because it was the end of the season, they came back and they were like, well, the crowd fucking loved it. Let's build that into the story. Because it was only going to be like a
one-off.
that clip, and then it was sort of going to like fade off into the distance and be like, oh, that was like a bit of fun, but nothing else.
Yeah.
But because they reacted in such a positive way, they were
There
like,
you go.
this is our new storyline edge.
And that's
That's
why we
very
need
cool.
That's why we need a studio audience in here.
Yeah. So when we
So when I kiss Riley, we can
see how they react.
get a, ooh. But yeah, no, it was good. I do feel for Matt Perry.
Yeah, he's a king.
Yeah, great bloke. And he's come out and said he doesn't remember seasons.
Because of
That's
his
fucked
problem.
up.
Yeah, like just blatantly doesn't remember shooting whole
Yeah,
seasons.
fuck.
And explained like he felt a lot of pressure to blitz his lines. Like if the crowd didn't react when he spoke,
Because he had to be funny.
well, he was the funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like if he said a line and the crowd didn't laugh, he was like, firstly, very, very flat. And he was like, yeah, I used to like have convulsions and like sweat profusely if people weren't laughing.
Fuck.
But he was very funny even on the show. And some of the stuff he adds,
Yeah, he did it perfect.
pissing
To
funny.
say
My,
the
my
least.
favorite part, I'll finish on this. My favorite part is Joey walks into the coffee shop and he trips once and then he comes in the second, like, and everyone laughs and he has to go out and redo it. Comes in again and he butchers. Oh, he runs like too far past where he was running or something and just like butchers his lines. The third time he comes running in, grabs his chair, puts the chair down, and the chair falls over before he sits on it. And the crowd's like laughing and carrying on because it's quite a simple scene. No one's even spoken during this whole time, right? Yeah. And Matt Perry is just like, yeah. And, you know, everyone was laughing at Matt LeBlanc and I didn't like that. So I wanted to get involved. And so on the fourth time, he comes in. So Matt LeBlanc runs in, sits down on the chair, and Matthew Perry and then starts doing the speech. Matthew Perry comes pelting in and just jumps on Joey, just like tackles him to the floor. Everyone's like absolutely wetting themselves. But that's exactly what he was like. Like he didn't mind just like taking the piss to make everyone else a bit happy. So I feel like it's a bit rude for everyone to be potting him for basically. He's the reason the show worked.
He made friends.
Prop him up. He's a good man.
He's the best friend.
Too good. I reckon they'll do it. Go watch the reunion.
Yeah,
You two in particular.
So Jake and I were at Optus. What was it? Two weeks ago.
Yeah, last weekend
Seeing Freo get a big win.
against the Swannies.
It was
the
very-
Swans.
it was a-
The Swans playing football.
It was a wintry day. It was a wintry day. It gets to halftime, and me and Jake, it's halftime snacky time
Yeah,
for us.
You get a bit nibbly.
Yeah, we had a date. We had a date at the food court.
On the nibbles.
Yep.
So we
We were nibbling each
head
other.
over to the food. We're looking for some chippies. Chippies were
Chips
the
ahoy.
target.
Fucking
that
hard to
that we
find.
were after.
Hard to find.
Hard to find.
That's actually facts. At Optus, you really can't find food. It is
It's
tough.
because
There's so
it's
many
because
places.
all the food places are the same, except they each have 1/8 of the menu.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, it's
What's-
pretty fucked. And I wanted popcorn on this occasion.
That's
because the
rare.
popcorn is good. And we couldn't find the popcorn. And then we walked past this one guy who had a large popcorn. And Joe's like, should we just ask him where he got it? So Joe just trundles over and goes, yeah, mate, where'd you get your popcorn from, bro? And he goes, what popcorn? I bought this from home. Just a massive box of popcorn. Bought it from home.
Did he actually?
No.
No. He said
Anyhow.
it was 100 meters down the.
Yeah,
Down the way.
Next thing you know, I had a fucking whole bundle of popcorn.
Good
So-
stuff.
We go in. We finally locate the chippies.
Yeah,
we go
did.
in,
Yeah.
and then there's also another item on the menu which tickles Jakey Boy's fancy.
Yeah.
Sauce roll?
No, chicken nuggets.
Oh, they had the popcorn. They had poppy corn
yeah,
chickens.
like a big popcorn
Oh.
chicken.
They had
with
popcorn
chili.
chickens, but they're like $11 or something.
And I was already buying my chips,
Which is
and obviously I'm not buying the chicken nuggets. I'm
Fair
looking.
enough.
I'm also on the hunt for a vegan snack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I'm grabbing the chippies, and they have them all lined up there. So you obviously need to get the one with the most amount of chips.
Yeah, like
of
a shit
course.
conveyor belt. It's just like a real choose your own adventure chip version.
So I noticed like one that's stacked up high up the back.
Because there wasn't many. They were really throwing out some like, empty buckets of
Yeah.
chips. Like, all right, you're paying $6 for chips and you get 9 chips. So
I've-
enjoy all of them.
I'm in there. I've got my arm reaching over the chips to grab the last one.
Yeah.
And then Jake is just eyeing up these cheeky nuggets. But again,
Because they looked good.
but it's like 6 nuggets for like $11.
That's
Yeah,
how they-
$11.50 for some nuggets that I didn't trust.
That's how they get you.
It
But
is.
on the conveyor belt, which is a little heat zone,
yeah.
Yep.
there was a lone nug.
We had spillage. We had a lone nug.
had
We had
spillage.
spillage,
That
nug
shit's
spillage.
worth like $2.
The best kind of spillage is nug spillage.
Someone had paid $11.50 for 5 nuggies.
Yeah, they dropped a nug.
No way.
Idiot, fucking idiots.
And left Jake a little tiff.
Yeah.
So
So I
we're-
look at
We're both
Joe.
staring at the nugget.
No.
I looked at Joe and I was like,
Uh-oh.
"There's a spare nug. Nug down. We've got a nug down."
down.
The sirens are going.
And he goes, "I dare you to just
Take it.
nug and run."
Do it.
Next thing you know, I got a piping hot nug in my mouth, and I'm walking out the conveyor belt. Security's fucking chasing after me. I'm like, hot nug in my mouth.
You're just chewing as you walk
Yeah.
past.
The Optus thief. Oh yeah, it's a small turnaround from grabbing to paying. Were
Yeah.
you finished the nug, or were you
No,
still
he
going?
was still chewing. He was out.
Oh
out the
yeah,
gate.
I was chewing for quite a while. It was
I
a
was
big
paying
nugget.
for my chips.
Yeah, I was just like,
And Jake and his
I wonder
nug
if they
were
would plead guilty because like the cashier might think, oh, he just grabbed it.
one that he's already eating.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else in my hands. I just had a nugget in my mouth, just like holding it in my mouth. Like
That
that.
looks a bit sus.
Yeah, like a testicle, just like in my mouth.
But then again,
essentially.
that also brings up the opportunity. If you've got a half-time break, if you go to every single place and take one nugget,
One nugget.
bang.
Well,
You're
that's the thing.
set.
Bang,
I
that's
feel like,
plenty.
all right, nuggets sitting on the heat, like the silver heat thing.
Yep.
I've pinched it, put it in my mouth. Not stealing. If there was
Okay.
if there's a nugget in like still
In
in
the
the
thing?
in
Yeah.
still in the
That's stealing.
cardboard carton, and I've taken it out, that's where I draw the line. I wouldn't do that. That's stealing.
The nugget's in no man's land.
Yeah.
Because a nugget in a bucket,
Yep.
that's dinner. That's paid for.
Yeah.
A nugget on the conveyor belt.
No one's grabbing
That's
that.
trash.
Yeah.
That's
Essentially.
going to the bin.
100%, because you can't sell that.
And really, someone already paid for that nugget.
Exactly.
What might be fun? And for those playing along at home, there's 2 games of footy on this weekend.
How many nuggets could we steal?
Well, essentially, what you could do, say you've got nuggets there, and you can do the same for chips, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're allowed a bucket of chips. No one says how many chips are allowed in that bucket, right? So why not get 2 buckets, mash them together, sort of play Jenga with the chips, and see. So there's obviously 2 chip containers, right?
Yeah.
So I'll grab one, you grab one, and then we will. Yeah. then what will happen is we just start plucking chips out of your container, putting them into mine until we go.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do any more because the Jenga tunnel will just the Jenga tower, sorry, will just fall over.
That's true because the price.
And then you can just hoof your cup.
the price of the chips is, as you said, per bucket.
Yep.
There's no price per chip,
No.
and there's no how many grams are on
No.
the chips.
I've got an idea.
Yeah. Better than the last one.
If you, well, with this, so if you do the arrangement on top of the silver thing, all the miscellaneous chips belong to the public and yourself. You're winning. You got 2 for 1.
Public chippy.
Because all they have.
Woo!
Let's say you steal the chips from
We're
one
not using
bucket.
the S word.
Hey.
We're not using.
Less.
You,
say
you do what you want in your own time, Joe. But I'm not stealing nothing.
Let's say you rearrange the chips from
Better.
one bucket
Think
to another
smarter.
one. Now all they have is a bucket there, where they're getting a lot of value per chip.
Yeah, but they haven't lost the value on the bucket.
The bucket is still
Yeah.
worth the money.
Exactly.
It's like at the old cinema complex we used to work at.
Yeah, can I have a spare brick of
No,
popcorn?
because
No, that costs
essentially-
$10.
Yeah, the bucket actually costs $10. You're paying for what you put in, right? But we can't just hand you the corn in your hand and be like, oh, well, that's $3 worth of popcorn. The bucket is where the money is. This is the new game.
We're selling popcorn holders.
Also, if I had have got the nugget, say you got chips, if I had have picked up that silver nugget and put it on your chips.
Bam, my chips go from $7 to $11.50.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
At what stage do we draw the line? Like, what would the chip be like? Oh, you got chips and
And nuggets.
a nugget, just the one. Don't know how we're gonna
So-
break
so
that down.
If you do want to get nuggets, right? So obviously, I'm assuming there's a man who makes chips who when they do the packaging.
Or female.
There's a guy on chips. There's a guy on nuggets, right?
Yeah, I think that's the same guy. I don't reckon it's two different guys.
But when he's filling up a bucket, which is destined to be a nugget bucket,
okay, yep.
it's getting less chips.
A nug bug.
It's not getting any chips. A nugget bucket won't get any chips.
No, there's chips at the bottom.
Not of the nugget buckets.
Yeah, there is.
Not in the ones that I was playing with.
They're just nuggets.
Yep. Hate to blow your mind like that. There was a couple that you could get chips and nuggies, but then there was the one that I went for.
No, they
That's
all
the combo.
had chips underneath.
Incorrect.
That's the combo.
Incorrect.
Well, then what you got to do? Nuggets at the bottom, right?
Hide the nugs.
Chips on top.
Hiding the nugs.
Yes, on top.
That's where I think we're getting a bit dodgy. That's where strategic just becomes us bluffing our way through it.
Think smarter, not harder.
And then so we headed down. Hey,
Oh,
don't you
sorry,
hit
I
the drums
thought we were-
yet.
I feel like that was enough.
So I've got my chips. I'm a happy little Vegemite. We're going
Yeah.
down. We're grabbing the popcorn.
I've got my nug.
and
Couldn't be happier.
I heard that they sold vegan pies,
No way.
Yeah, they do. No one buys them.
which I hadn't seen.
Yeah, for
And
good
then
reason.
we're going down, and I noticed at another shop,
Yep.
vegan chicken schnitzel sandwich.
It's just,
Well, it's
that's
not
a
chicken.
sentence that shouldn't be said. I don't
Chicken
think.
schnitzel. I think that makes it not vegan.
Yeah.
And then so it was the only like vegan food. Obviously the chips are vegan, but it's the only like
Not my nugget chips.
it's the proper like vegan food. So I see it and I'm like, you know what? They're trying to appease the vegan market. I'm vegan.
Yep.
I got to supply and demand. If I buy this,
Oh yeah, he
I buy
ran
the
me through
sandwich-
the ideas. Yeah, yeah,
they'll make more vegan food.
That's a good point.
It's an investment in vegan.
yeah. They'll go. We sold one vegan chicken schnitzel this week.
Give it, put one, definitely one more there. Just to make it reoccurring.
Although I have to say,
He'll be back.
it was fucking atrocious. It was so gross.
Joe bought
He won't be
stocks in the
back.
wrong thing.
I hope they never sell another one again.
Was it that bad? I didn't hear you complain.
You put it on your
So I
story.
You ate a lot more of the popcorn. I noticed. Once I
I put
handed
it,
to
yeah,
you.
'cause I need to wash it down. So I put a photo
Should have had a nug.
on Instagram of the sandwich.
Yeah,
Where
it
we
looked
could
bad.
It did.
There was like vegan mayonnaise, which was terrible. The schnitzel was
Just
fine, I guess.
it's coom. It was coom.
The bread, yeah, it was. It came from a real vegan. Came.
Continue.
And then the bread was like soggy from all of the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And then there was just like
That's not my.
Get on with it.
it was just like lettuce and cabbage and shit.
Oh.
Oh shit!
It was like
Coming from both ends.
it couldn't have been worse.
Oh.
And I'm trying to, especially because Jake's giving me shit about getting the sandwich in the first place.
Yeah, because it looked shit.
So I'm trying to hunker through. Oh, and also, the woman in front of us was eating this fucking soup.
Oh, yeah,
she-
that's right.
She brought
Oh.
in a thermos, like in a,
We've lost it. We've lost it. We've lost it.
like in a 2-liter thermos.
Yeah, we're fucking.
It was,
She's like a nugget.
Should have given her your fucking salad.
it was the stinkiest soup I've ever smelled in my life. I didn't know what it was.
So the
The
chicken.
guy sitting 2 steps
Hang
down
on,
from
hang
me.
on. So the chicken who's sitting in front of us on Optus gets out this massive thermos, right? And just starts pouring a thermos into cups. And I've
Into
turned to
what?
just into paper cups, and I've turned to Joe and gone, does something smell weird? And he was like, yeah. He texts me and goes, this bitch pouring out soup right in front of us.
And
The
then
dude, like,
two
two
seats
seats.
down, he's making a face and then you think that's bad. So for some reason they had a friend sitting like 4 rows up.
Shout
They're
out to the
passing her a
listeners.
cup of the soup.
Shit.
The whole block.
She didn't want it. No, remember? She was like, yeah, her mate. So the chick who's pouring out the soup yelled down to her friend, was like, hey, you want some? And the chick turned around and like, just like you could tell she caught a whiff of it and like pulled her nose out. Was like, we
We're all good.
don't want that soup. Goodness gracious me.
Yeah, the popcorn was good though.
All right, boys. This week we asked the age-old question to the people of Perth: is it a chicken Parmi or is it a chicken Parma?
It's a great question.
It's got to be a Parmi.
I'm going Parmi. It's a Parmi.
Joe, Parmi? It's a bloody Parmi, guys. I'm telling you now.
It's got to be.
It's a fucking Parmi.
It is.
Now, I reckon it's an Adelaide thing. It's definitely not a Perth thing that they call it a Parma.
Yeah, people in Adelaide are weird.
I'm trying to make everything start and end in A over there.
I found a little cool stat online. Well, it's not a stat. It's a little fun fact.
Oh,
Victorians.
stats and facts with Junior Boy.
Apparently, Victorians prefer to refer to the pub meal as a Parma.
Oh, nice. They like coronavirus, though,
But the
so
rest
you can't
of
trust them.
the rest of Australia
Lock them up, boys.
are big Parma users, except for Tasmania. Apparently, they like it Parma as well.
They like kissing each other. So
They're a bit on
we
the-
can't trust anything that they do. My goodness. Now, what I don't understand about calling it a Parma
Yep.
is we in Australia Aussie things up. We ocker them up and we Aussie them up.
Yeah.
We don't Ozza them up.
No, we don't.
I've never called you Joa.
Joa.
Never.
It's
You
Joey.
get Joey a fair bit.
Yeah,
I
of
do.
course you
Don't
do.
ya? I've also got a mate, Tom. Never called him Toma. Gets Tommy, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Got a friend called John. He's not Jonna.
Jonna. That's a strange one.
He's Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
You bring up a good point.
The best of the lot is James. Have you ever called anyone named James Jammer? Jammer.
Negative.
Like
Negatory.
Jammer the Hutt. Instead, what we do with Jammer is we actually kick out the A in James.
Yeah, we don't
The
need
A
that.
that's actually there.
Yeah, we throw an I in.
Yeah.
Then we remove the E,
We
chuck an M
We changed the name.
and a Y. And James all of a sudden becomes Jimmy.
Jimmy boy.
Yeah, the I.
He's not getting Jammer, he's getting Jimmy. So what I don't understand about this whole thing is it's spelt chicken parmigiana. Parmi.
But you do say
Parmigiana.
You do say Parmesan.
No, you don't.
Parmesan.
Not unless you're an absolute fool.
You guys grab a Parmi. I'll grab a chicken Parmesan.
Unless you're an absolute fool who just completely disregards the English language. Or you call your mate Harrison, who I would call Harry.
Harry.
If you're getting around calling him Harra, like an absolute piece of work, give us a red hot
That is
spell.
that's on the left.
A chicken Parmi. You heard me. A chicken Parmi.
It's a Parmi.
Well, a chicken Parmi is as Aussie as your mate Gary, as your mate Barry, and as your mate Larry. So the next time you ask for a chicken Parmigiana, don't call it a chicken Parma, because it's Aussie. So it's a fucking chicken Parmi.
It is. Boys, I found something out over the week,
Very excited.
and I want you guys to play along. I'll go first. I'll show you how it's done. But even the fans at home, you can do it as well. Everybody, except for you two, open up Facebook with me right now. Unless you're driving, of course. Don't
Yep.
open it up.
Right.
Open up your home feed.
I'm gonna do it as well.
Refresh. Rightio, we're going to scroll through and we're going to count how many posts we got from friends and how many ads we've got. The sponsored posts.
Yep.
I'll count. 1, 2, bang, ad.
What?
Oh, it's loading. Internet problems. 1, 2, 3, ad. Fuck, the internet's bad in here.
I get one every 6.
Yep.
I
One every
go
6.
3,
I open up.
4, 5,
1,
6.
2, 3. Another 3.
WA government's at 6.
1, 2, bang.
You're getting one every second.
2, 1, 3. Bang, another one. 1, 2, 3. Bang.
Every
1,
fourth post is an ad.
2, 3. Bang.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.
I've got.
Bang. Oh, that one has actually Macback Podcast. Bit naughty.
Mine's 6. Mine is literally every 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're for rogue shit.
Yeah, mine was like this
Toast-
the other day. 1 of 4.
Toast-faced griller.
1 every 4. 25% of my Facebook feed is ads.
That's
I
too
open mine
much.
up, one post, and then an ad for TAFE.
You don't
Joey
get a
Boy's
TAFE.
going to TAFE.
Good on you, Joe. You
Four
got
more posts.
you got an ATAR
100
high enough to
ads.
own most TAFEs. So I don't know why you'd be going on
Yeah,
a
my
TAFE.
ads are all weird as well. Like, well, I mean, they're kind of relative.
Nando's.
Like UWA. What are these other ones? NBA 2K.
How many times are you getting?
Yeah, about every 4.
That seems like a lot.
I think they're trying to get me to change unis. I got Curtin, UWA. Bloody oath. Guerrilla
Mine
marketing.
6 seems a lot to me, but
Culture Kings.
that's
You got the least.
yeah,
apparently.
significantly less than you. I couldn't handle getting one every 4.
Yeah,
posts.
well, that's the thing.
Did you notice it?
No, I didn't notice it, and then someone pointed. Well, like, it got pointed out to me, and they're like,
Was someone looking at your thing and going, "Wow, that's like a lot."
yeah, I think someone just pointed out an ad, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know like I got ads on my feed because it just blends in.
Well,
'cause
you,
it's
at
normal
this point,
stuff.
you're not getting ads. That's just your only content. Is it a friends thing? Like I have more friends than.
I got like 600, 500, 600 friends.
Yeah, I've got like
Not
1.5.
But yeah,
I do have a lot of like, they're not necessarily ads, but it'll be like the PlayStation Facebook page.
Oh yeah, but
Like,
that's
they're just
different to what
posts.
these are.
Yeah,
These are
that's
like
different. These are
sponsored.
sponsored. These are getting
No, I
paid.
wonder if that's why I'm getting less actual ads.
Yeah,
Nah,
well,
because I follow a lot of
yeah, I follow a heap of stuff like that as well.
yeah.
It's crazy. That's 25%. That's like listening to this podcast. Say it goes for an hour long. We talk about ads for 15 minutes.
That's excessive.
Facebook is a bit like
That's payday.
nowadays.
bro.
It's just meme pages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like when we first had it, it was like
Your friends
my
post.
friends'
Statuses.
stuff, photos of my friends.
Yeah.
Do you ever post a status anymore?
Yeah, I post some funny ones. From
Yeah,
time
we
to
do.
time.
We
Casual
do.
shit posts.
I used to do poll.
Yeah.
I used to do polls. My polls used to go off when I was still.
Then they
yeah.
removed the feature.
Yeah, I don't know if they removed it for everyone or just for me because my polls used to go. I used to get like hundreds of people like commenting on these polls and like
Oh,
The Friday
rating.
poll. It was a big thing.
Wednesdays. It was Wednesday poll.
The
day.
Wednesday poll was a big thing.
It was massive.
We'll,
Not big
we'll
enough.
clip that out.
Which is essentially what we do now with the weekly MacPack polls, which I manage as well. But
Do you know what I'm thinking?
you can only do like 2 options on that.
Gonna start putting up ads. Why not?
You're gonna
They
do
blend
ads,
in.
well for yourself.
Yeah, bloody yeah.
Just you with your
Riley.
shirt off.
Hey, it's Riley here. Back at it again with another
Facebook
ad.
post. And then you win.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Too good.
Payday for Zara.
Yeah. So let us know how many.
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, I
ads-
wonder if you-
ads
if
you're
you have
getting.
the
Is it
most.
just me? Because how
If
many?
someone's getting more than Riley, that would be
and it
absolutely
seems to be
bemusing.
constant as well. Like I'm always getting 4. Jake's always getting 6. Joe's always
Yeah, there's a
getting
pattern.
4. There you go.
There's a pattern emerging. So
Crazy.
let us know how many you get. All right, boys. Welcome to June. We've just flicked over to June.
Welcome to June.
We've done it. June.
Halfway through.
Congratulations. We quickly we had a massive
Nice.
month of May. We actually broke
Yeah,
download
breaking-
records.
Breaking
for
MacPack records.
growth, baby, growth.
Slowly but surely. It's happening.
If you do see any TikToks or any of our Instas or anything on Facebook,
Help them out.
just comment growth. I love it. Love growth.
We're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about
Yeah.
growth.
Like that, you had that growth on your leg last week, Jake.
But it is exciting to see. TikTok is slowly building. Instagram's kicking goals. But our downloads, our actual product itself, the podcast downloads, is where
You're going to
the one
moon.
the one that's in our heart.
yeah, that's
the
our
poddy's in there.
primary focus, and
Yeah.
that has just ticked over to set its own monthly record for downloads. So we're super excited and super proud about that. So thank you to everybody who has listened.
Good stuff, boys.
Boys, we've got about 6 months left of the year.
7. Yeah.
It's dawning on me, and I
About
think
halfway there.
I think it would be fun to learn a new skill before the end of the year. Thoughts?
Here we go. For all of us or just you?
No, I think it'll be fun. I obviously want to learn one, but I think it would be fun for each of us to learn one. So I'm thinking
Let's do it.
that over the next 6 months. Oh, we won't put you on the spot tonight.
Yep.
But we will do it next week. So go away, have a little think about a skill that you want to learn.
Yep.
Sit down next week, and I think we'll do it as a secret. So we'll all try and learn these skills in secret. And last episode of the pod, so we'll do as we did last year. We did like a season finale,
A year in review.
we will basically just break out our secret skills
Fancy.
and we'll perform them on the show, whether it's a magic trick or learn to tattoo or I don't even know.
The
You c-
splits.
Yeah,
that
the splits
could
on
be-
the table.
That could be relevant.
Maybe not.
Yes, so have a little think over the next 7 to 8 days.
The MacPack Skills Challenge.
Yes, little secret skills going on.
Let's pop it off.
Ideally, we keep it a secret because I think that'll add to the element. So we'll tell what we'll do is we'll come in next week. We'll sit down. 2 of us will leave the room. The other person lets the crew know, lets the podcasting community know what skill they're going to try and learn before the end of the year. And we'll each just
Very
take turns.
exciting, yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you're learning. I don't want to know.
It'll
what
be
you're
hard
learning.
not to see each other practice,
Yeah, well, it's just part of the element.
especially while I'm cutting people up with a saw.
Stuff to think about for next week.
Through a box.
All right, boys. Last thing we'll do this week, as we do each and every week on the MacPack podcast, is out. So everyday hero. Now this week, my hero is again in the car.
Of course it is.
I
When
know.
is it?
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but it strikes a car.
I
many
made mention
times.
to it before we jumped on. I was like, I've got another everyday hero. And Riley immediately goes, was it on the drive to work? And I said, yeah. He goes, they're always on the drive to work. This one was good. So I'm sitting in traffic on South Street. They're all South
Yep,
Street
yep.
everyday hero.
This is
Tick.
all pre-recorded up to this point.
Tick. And there was a guy who was sitting directly behind me, and he had
his car.
he had a noticeable look. He had a dog next to him, which was like
Doge.
carrying on a bit. He had really long surfy dude hair, which I thought was cool, a bit like mine. And then he had sunnies on, right?
Fancy.
And I was drawn to him in my rearview mirror because he was dancing and giving it a fair bit of energy, which I appreciated. He was singing loudly and like carrying on a fair bit, which I thought was super cool. And like this is like a Wednesday morning at like
Hump day.
literally like
yeah.
8 o'clock in the morning, just absolutely
Keen.
giving it hell.
Bloody oath. That's a good way to start your morning.
Yeah, 100%. And he had like a real infectious personality. Like he knew what he was doing, and he was trying to be like as infectious as he could.
Oh.
And it basically, that became very apparent when he was dancing and carrying on. He was singing so loud. His car was like shaking as he was
I
like
wonder what he was listening to.
doing. Yeah, I actually couldn't hear. I turned my sound all the way down. But the funniest part was when he was dancing and carrying on. We're just sitting at the set of lights, and then he just stopped and turned immediately to his right to look at the passenger in the other car
Yeah.
who was driving.
The other driver.
And just stared, looked at them, and like stopped dancing, just like stopped, looked, and just pointed. And then like
Kept
I
dancing.
I couldn't see the person, but I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and this dude's dancing, looked, paused, pointed at the person,
Yep.
and then he's just like paused there like that. And the person's looked at him, he's given a nod, like a head nod,
Yep.
pointed, and then just like started dancing like back into it. And I look over, person in the other car who was pointed at, absolutely loving it.
Dancing as well? Or
she's
just
like
having a
dancing.
giggle?
She was like she was then involved in it. No, she wasn't dancing back, but she just sort of like
That
gave,
is
gave a thumbs up and was like,
immense
yeah,
confidence.
yeah, which I loved, and like made a fool of himself. Put a smile on my face. Definitely put a smile on the chick who he pointed at's face, and then just went back to like dancing with his dog. Absolute legend.
vibing out.
And it was such a small thing. Like realistically, he was just in a good space and he wanted to share the love. But he certainly knew that the chick next to him was watching him because she got involved as well. So he was in a good space and he just wanted to share the love, share his energy, and make other people feel good. So that's why this week, our everyday hero for episode 36 is
The Dancin' Man.
Is that guy. All right, boys, we'll wrap up episode 36 of the MacPack podcast, the Dane Swan special and the Jake Sickness special, by saying,
Hope you've enjoyed Jake's sick voice.
yeah, it's interesting. Just by saying a massive thanks to everybody who's tuned in. As we mentioned before, May has been our most successful month in regards to downloads, and we want to continue to ride that little wave.
Thanks, gang.
The best way you can continue to share the love for the pod is just by letting one person, a friend of yours, know about us. Recommend the pod to them and basically just tell them to listen.
Yeah, next time you're in the car with someone, be like, oh, actually.
We've had a few people do it. Like we now have like a few mates of mates.
Yeah, people
Who
we
are-
don't really.
We know of, or we've heard stories about, but we don't actually know them. They follow us
It's
on
great
the
when
page
they
and
come
stuff
up to you when you're out and you're like, I don't really know you.
Yeah, that's the nicest when you get like not strangers, but like semi-strangers. That's the coolest vibe.
Yeah.
Boys.
We like strangers as well, though.
Yeah, and if you haven't already left us a review on Apple Pods, be sure to do so. And if you don't use Apple Podcasts, which we're beginning to realize a lot of people don't, they use Spotify instead, ping us a message on Instagram. Just let us know what you think of the pod, favorite part, for example. And if you're keen, we will read them out on the podcast on the next episode. for you.
Yep.
Boys, been an absolute pleasure to sit down next to the two of you
Always is.
for the last hour or so.
always is.
Hopefully you don't get too crook, because I've been sitting next to Joe for a while and now I'm crook, so sick. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay safe, stay blessed, and just before, it's Mum's birthday this week.
Go, Mum.
Happy birthday,
I'm
mate.
going to give a bit of
birthday.
gusto on this one.
So she's more.
Here we go.
She's 100% gonna get a little bit of the next one. So stay safe, stay blessed, and make sure that you remember to
Yo, give your mum a hug.
ciao for now, but not forever. Happy birthday, Janine McKenna. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Love you.
Happy birthday, Mama.